before the pod in the chat, we were talking about Giannis's GOAT potential. And if this guy has all the tools, he has 2 MVPs. I honestly, if he wins this, if the Bucks win this, he has to get Finals MVP. There's no. So 2 MVPs, a Finals MVP, a chip at 26, 27. And
right.
I mean, I'm not going to say he can't be the greatest of all time. I'm not going to say he can't be in the conversation. He has like at least 8 more years to play. If he can go on a run, theoretically.
I mean, he could. I'm one of those guys. I mean, GOAT is a really, I mean, that's.
He could etch himself into the top 10 all time, I believe.
He could do that. He could do that. And again, I think to some degree at least, it's going to, whether he rounds out that offensive arsenal or not is gonna help with that. His jump shot's not broken. So we said all that for me to say this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not broken because I see him. He's got really nice touch on it when he's not thinking about it. Meaning when he's in that mid post and he's shooting that one-legged fall away, or sometimes when he's around that elbow area and he knows he's in it, he's going to be aggressive and he pulls up. Like those aren't bad. When he has to think about shooting a 3, it looks awful, right? Goes in sometimes. When he has to think about shooting those free throws, you can tell it's uncomfortable, right? And it's not great. But I don't think his jump shot is a broken thing. It just seems to be something that he's to some degree uncomfortable with when he's in his own head about it. And if he can get out of his own head about it, I think he can find a jump shot.
I'm getting the feeling right now with Giannis that he's just starting to take that next step in his career. He's just starting to take that next thing is like, obviously he's been a talented dude. He's been averaging 30 and 10 or close to those numbers for the last few years. But it seems like, and I was in Milwaukee last week. Shout out to Milwaukee. And I was like looking and I watched his game and it just seems like he's just the cliche it's slowing down for him. It's starting to, right? Where he's starting to get to his spots and you can't fucking stop him. Like, I'm getting to my spots down the paint. What I'm doing. I'm doing this motherfucking spin move, and I'm getting into the lane. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm in transition, and I'm doing this Euro step where I literally go from the 3-point line to the paint, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But it's becoming to be more refined right now. And I could see in the next few years, like, he could get to like 35% from 3. Like, you don't need him to get to 40.
You don't?
You don't need him to. But you start to see that, Raja, with the fadeaways that he's doing. He's really comfortable with that fadeaway now to where it's like, it seems like, okay, this is his shot now. This is something that he's going to. So when you think about that, like me, you and Sasha were talking about this pre-show, like we're obviously comparing him to LeBron because that is the GOAT of this generation. We could just point blank, in my opinion. And we're comparing them to, and the jump shot got brought up, and I'm like, yo, when LeBron was 26, his jump shot was broke as fuck. It was. But what did he do? He put
MJ was a scorer when he came in attacking the basket. Like that jump shot got refined over time.
His jump shot wasn't as sweet as it wasn't the 96, 97 jumper where he was in a bag, right? Nah. His shot was broke, but he could get it every once in a while. But you wanted Jordan shooting threes then. Like, same with LeBron. So I feel like we see a lot of this with Giannis. It's like, oh my, I think we live in a generation where it was like, it has to be absolutes. Like, you have to be this. Like, we see LeBron as a finished product, and we see Jordan as a finished product, and we want Giannis to be something like that at 26. Yeah. Bro, he's so good that he got 2 MVPs just figuring the game out. Like, give him some time.
Yeah, he'll evolve. Look, what you just said there is absolutely right. All the players evolve, and you continue to grow every year. The greats do. They continue to add something to their repertoire. I think Giannis, aside from the jumper, which I do believe has legs, I do believe his jumper has. Like, he will continue to get better at that. A lot of those guys, what they also figure out is it's easier sometimes to not have the ball in your hand so much and do the lion's share of the ball handling and play creating off the bounce because. Let's face it, there are 5 sets of eyes glued to you there. Mike was able to kind of, extend brilliance by getting into that mid block figuring out how to be more efficient. Less is more, you know. And so Giannis, as he continues to grow as a player, he's got the opportunity and the ability to get downhill. Obviously, he's a freak of nature when those guys, those big, come out and guard him. But I think you'll see him continue to get better on that low block with his back to the basket. Just fade. You know that fadeaway you're shooting off the dribble, off one bounce? You shoot the same fadeaway with no dribbles. You can. You catch that thing on the post.
I also can't wait to see like the counter moves of these fadeaways he gets, like the pump fake,
the up and unders. It's going to open up a whole nother bag.
Yeah.
Yes, he'll continue to grow, man, and he will be. You know, GOAT is tough, but he could definitely cement himself in top 10.
He will be one, and if not already, one of the defining players of this generation. That is just what it is. But I just feel like even the people that we compare him to, right? We're comparing him to Kevin Durant, who is, I think, the best player in the league right now, for sure, when he's healthy. But we compare him to Kevin Durant. Kevin's in his 30s right now. We forget that, like, Kevin had to get stronger back in the day. Like, he had to figure out his game too. But we look at all these, we're comparing him to, in all these absolutes, to these players that are honestly of a different generation than him right now. Even when you compare him to LeBron, LeBron's about to be out of the league in a few years. KD has a few more years too. But these guys are like, I don't feel like Giannis is being compared to his contemporaries. He's being compared to a generation above him. So once they get out of the paint, he's going to be the best player in the league if he stays at this trajectory.